It's kind of funny that you say that. It just reminded me of when I was 8 or 12 and I started my first business. I would run home from school for 125 miles, just throw my rucksack right through my window and head straight to my local retirement home. Did I have to run? No. Did I realize that every step I took, instead of sprinting, was halving my money? Absolutely yes. It's also how I got the idea for my hustle then. You see, I realized I know my time is valuable. My time is important. But you know whose is not? Old people. Do you even understand how many 60-year-olds are sitting on at least 100k in their bank accounts? It's gotta be thousands. And I only needed a few. So I would go and volunteer. Sorry, the idea of being a wage in any form makes me sick. I would go in and either A, befriend them, or B, seduce them. The goal? Always get in that will. If that meant a couple games of checkers, then whatever. Or if that meant I was coughing up grey hair, it was worth it. Anything to secure the bag. Funny thing is, I realized once you're in the will, a lot of those things have life insurance policies and houses in their names. Do you see where I'm going with this? One investment, triple the take. And that's quite simply how I made my first 10 trillion. I think it's time me and you had a heart-to-heart. Listen, some of you oaks, I've noticed, are getting a little bit too much confidence. I don't know if it's because of the age of technology. I think it's possibly a byproduct of it. But there's this really bizarre trend of absolute stick figures of men claiming to be alpha males. As in, they'll go on TikTok and give young brethren advice on how to pick up women or get lots and lots of money and fame. And we, as the audience, know that they're talking a load of cuck out of their ass. But what I find so jarring and strange about it is they don't even look the part. I mean, you take Andrew Tate, for example. At least when he's talking all of his doctrine, I can visualize it because of his entire persona. You know, he's this tall dude who's jacked and is charming, at least somewhat, you have to admit that, who just absolutely oozes confidence. These other dudes, though, I look at them and I'm like, man, I don't even believe a woman's touched you. I don't know where you're getting off giving me any advice. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, because I found one of these fellas who goes under the handle I am Stefan.
How much cash should you be bringing when you go out? A mentor told me once, you should be bringing $100 cash with you at all times. And he's like, if you're making, 10K a month, even bring 500. Number one, when you tip someone in cash, they like it so much better. We all know why.
Now, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I'm going to be. 9 out of 10 times when I picture a super suave dude who knows a lot about ladies, normally that guy doesn't have a peeling bottom lip and a receding hairline. It's just a little observation, but as far as I'm aware, looks matter a lot on how you're perceived. To me, this kind of feels like if they were casting James Bond and Michael Cera auditioned and got the role. It's like trying to ram a circle puzzle piece into a triangle-shaped hole. And also, this hole just doesn't really evaluate or explain themselves properly. I'm just gonna nitpick something quick.
A mentor told me once, tip someone in cash, they like it so much better. We all know why.
First off, who the fuck's your mentor? What do you want about? Who is at the top of this totem pole if you are just below it? And second of all, no, we don't know why they prefer tipping in cash. That is your job as the alpha. You're trying to tell me what I should be doing with my life, but then you're not telling me what I should be doing with my life. I digress, but anyways, the reason why this guy got on my radar to begin with was one particular video, which I think you're going to absolutely adore.
If a girl looks at you, walk up to her and say, hey, do you always stare down charming and dangerous men, or is it just me? It's a funny line that, will get her attention, spike her attraction, and make you come off a little too cocky, but, pair it with a little smile or smirk, and she'll vibe with it. So try it out. Maybe it'll get you your next girlfriend.
I think the only accurate thing he said in that statement was the word spike. Because if you approach a woman like this by saying you're dangerous, she's going to assume that you're going to spike her drink. What a horrifying thing for someone to come up to you and say. Hi, I couldn't help but notice you from across the street. Do you like dangerous men? Good, that's why I brought this knife over to show you. Now, the saddest thing about this is this video went viral on TikTok. And rightfully so, a bunch of people clown the ever-loving shit out of him, saying things like, you're gonna get tased, tips fedora, and my favorite pepper spray Riz. So much so that it actually forced him to clean up his act because he realized how cringy he was being. And now he's trying to play it off like the entire page was a joke right from the beginning. Even though if you go back a couple videos, it's clear that he was deadly serious.
About a year ago, I started growing up my hair, and it's gotten pretty long. For over a decade, I was literally just rocking the short Cristiano Ronaldo soccer player haircut, and everyone's like, yo, you should grow out your hair. It would look really good. And I'm like, no, guys, no, I like my short hair. I'm going to stick to that. I don't want your stupid long hair. That was my mentality. And then, one day I'm hanging out with this girl, and she's like, oh, you would look so much better with long hair. And then instantly I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grow out my hair. In my head, I'm like, okay, it's time to grow out my hair. That I'm a simp? No. Essentially, if you want to make someone do something, you want to make that come from either someone they respect or really like. 3 signs you're an alpha male. Number 1, you go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up at 4 a.m. every day. 1 hour of sleep is all you need. Number 2, you go to the gym 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So it's about like 21 times a week. Then number 3, this is key. You put alpha male in your Instagram bio. So you do this, you're certified alpha male.
No, you guys, you don't understand. I was just pretending to be cringe. Guys, bullying works, people. We've seen it time and time again. I cannot stress this enough. Always pick on those who are weaker than you. I am grateful that I can in real time see a human being fall out of love with like this alpha male ideology. Young men and women, I'm just gonna tell you a hard truth. The guys who are successful with women or men are not the same guys who make alpha TikToks. Do you know why? Because they're too busy getting their dick sucked. And also because in truth, there is no grand secret. I'm telling you this as an aesthetically challenged individual myself. I am not the most attractive person in the world, man. You gotta make peace with what you got. Like, I'm not very tall, as I've said many times. I've got rampant and violent butthole eyes. And I got fat in places where fat shouldn't be. No, Dino, you're beautiful and perfect. Who said that? Oh, wow. I wasn't fishing for compliments or anything. That's so nice of you. But even as someone with all of these deformities, I still managed to pull in my life. And you want to know how? I just took basic care of myself in terms of personality, hygiene, and fitness. That's it. Being rich helps, sure. And you're not going to be able to get every single woman or man that you want. But if you're a decent enough human being, as in you brush your teeth and you're good at talking, most people are going to rail you anyway. In spite of what Stefan used to believe, apparently, there's not some like magic keyword that's just gonna instantly make you the most desirable human being on the planet. There's no codex from like 1940s Germany that you're gonna say the words and suddenly a gaggle of females are coming over to tapioca pudding all over you. It's like y'all want a love potion, but you don't want to be loved. Also, let me just put it to you another way. Even if you're ugly, even if you're short, even if you smell bad, why should anybody date you if you're not gonna take care of those issues? Would you date a 500-pound woman with 1 missing leg and maybe 5 teeth? No? And why not? Oh, because that's not what you desire as an individual? Well, guess what? The opposite sex feels the same way about you. The only real advice I can give to somebody who's fallen down this rabbit hole is something I used in my own life at one point. If you're shy and you're unconfident around people, you don't really know what to say, the only way you can improve your social skills is by getting in social situations. Easier said than done, I understand that much. But there are practical little steps you could take to get there. A thing I used to do whenever I wasn't feeling too good about myself is I would go into pick and pay shops and I would start shoplifting cheese off the aisle and putting it in my jacket. Then when the security would come up to me, I get to talk to that guy. I get to talk to him for hours because he can't leave. Or alternatively, if you have access to a gun, dark alleys are a great place to meet people. My opening line is normally I run up to them full force, pointing it at them, screaming, "Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God?" Because I know a lot of people tend to be religious. And I'm holding an object that will keep their attention. In terms of more reasonable steps, picking up a hobby is probably the best way to go about it. And I mean a real sociable hobby. Discord and gaming doesn't count. You need to be able to smell the person's flesh. I would suggest something physical like sports or gym. Something where you have a common ground interest right from the get-go. And please, please be prepared to fail. Not everybody wants to talk to you. What does this have to do with specifically girls? Well, if you can get enough confidence to talk to strangers, you can get enough confidence to ask a girl out. Think of them as strangers that just smell really good. And that's all there is to it. That's literally all. You could pay me £1,000 and I could talk your ear off for 3 hours about how I did this, and this to get the way that I am today and this successful. But you're probably just gonna get the same advice that I'm giving you now for free off any other alpha male on the internet. Anybody who claims to have all of the answers behind a paywall is almost certainly lying to you and trying to scam you. And that's also why doctor's degrees are fake. Government of Australia try and send me to prison for helping someone. And you wonder why I won't even spit on your continent anymore. And that only strengthens my point, because much like medical science, there are so many factors to why different social situations can work out in different ways. If you're trying to hit on a woman and maybe she blows you off, it could just be the weird time of day, it could just be how she's feeling, it could be how you brush your teeth that morning. There's no right or wrong answer to anything. Only way you can improve your life in practical senses is find out where your your problem areas are as a person. Write them down, work on them, and try and apply them in your own real life. But I know for a fact one of the ways that you can do this is by legally subscribing to deano on YouTube. In spite of what those criminals in Australia say, I am in fact a doctor, and I can recommend this channel for your mental health. Speaking of, I'm going to stop talking before my brain melts. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.